As in the podcast or the pie?
The podcast. But we are going to be opening up with the pie segment because I know you're hungry. I know we've just had work, so it's about dinner time for both of us. In our most delicious segment that we do, it is box office pie. It's not for 2025 this time. I was looking at the 2024 movie release slate, and I saw there's a good competition here. There's no event movies like we know, unless you consider like Deadpool 3 an event movie. But like in truly like massive movies, there's really none of that. So it's an equal playing field in my opinion right now. And so for people that haven't heard about box office pie, essentially I just put a certain movie in a percentage, which I think that's how much of a percentage it has to win the box office for 2024. And it all adds up to 100%. But I also mentioned stuff that have missed out on the pie, and that means they have 0%. And if they're not mentioned at all, then they absolutely were not in consideration to be on the pie. But we're going to change this up for a second. I'm going to list all the movies that I have here in front of me, and you're going to say one of them. You're going to say any one that you want, and you get that. I've cut this in percentage of pies. That's why it looks so shit. So whatever one you say, you get that percentage of the pie. Does that make sense?
Yep. You made it a game. So if I'm really shit, I could be very hungry for this whole podcast.
You might not get any pie if you guess the wrong movie.
If I don't get any pie, we're pausing this. I'm going down to the local to get a pie.
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to say movies now. Joker, Folie à Deux. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, Snow White, Furiosa, Kung Fu Panda 4, Mufasa, The Lion King, Despicable Me 3, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Captain America, Brave New World, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 2, Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Elio, Garfield, Thunderbolts, Snow White, Godzilla x Kong, and New Empire, Deadpool 3. Which one do you think has the highest percentage?
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me. You some pie.
Yes. Probably should have gone on another plate for this.
You're that
I can see it.
All right, so I've delegated.
Can I grab it now? Can I grab it?
Yeah. Go grab. Yes. Grab your piece of the pie.
FYI, guys, it's a bacon and egg pie. I'm not sure if you folks up in the Northern Hemisphere won't really have meat pies unless you're in the UK.
Is meat pies New Zealand thing?
I think it's New Zealand, Australia, and UK.
I always thought it was the other way around. Because I wanted to get a meat pie, but they experienced inflation, so they're like $20, $25.
Yeah.
I was like, no. That would win box office if I bought that. Help yourself to the pie. Yeah, my cutting is awful. I'm so sorry. Will the bacon and eggs just fall out right now? What percentage do you think that was? If you had to guess, you had to look at that.
I don't know, maybe 10-15%.
Well, we'll see if it's my cutting or you're guessing that's the good of that. All right, so let's get to our box office pie. This is why you need to have us on video, by the way, because this would be hilarious. The poor cutting, Nan swallowing a whole 15% pie in one go. It's a good time. Anyway, so 0% on the pie. Who missed out? Kung Fu Panda 4. Sorry, Nan. No chance. Furiosa. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Captain America, Brave New World. Gladiator 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Thunderbolts, and Elio. Any surprises in there for you?
Not really.
Not really? You think any of them deserve a percentage? A chance to win?
Maybe Kingdom, but I don't think that's going to happen until we see footage.
True, yeah. See? So I'll come back with this segment if it's good. I don't trust Wizball yet to do this movie. Mad Max didn't make much. I can't imagine Furiosa making any more than that movie. Captain America, Brave New World. Sorry to say, I just don't think the majority of people are accepting the new Captain America in that way. People didn't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so I think it's going to have a mild turnout. Thunderbolts, just a bunch of people.
Villains, randoms.
We don't really care about them. Most of them are from like Black Widow. Because you got Taskmaster, Guardian Angel. Is that his name? The Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Yeah,
and
then,
Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah. So it's just Black Widow and other people. And Elio stands no chance. I don't even know why I mentioned him. Or the movie.
I don't even know what Elio is. Is it Pixar or Disney?
It's Pixar. I mean, the trailer came out. I don't know why we didn't cover it. But yeah, it's a new Pixar movie. Perhaps it deserves to get a mention. But yes. All right. So, who makes the box office pie? 1% goes to Godzilla times Kong, A New Empire.
Understandable.
Yes. That movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, that did wonders for box office given the circumstances. I remember seeing that result. I was like, oh my gosh.
Especially in COVID as well.
Yeah. It's like coming back. I think it's had like the biggest opening for COVID when it actually came out. So, yeah, it deserves to have a chance there, but a 1% chance, so not much. Next chance, 1%, Inside Out 2. I just don't think Pixar really has it in them anymore. Elemental's having a great run, but it opened so poorly that it's got so much room to cover to even be a financial success, regardless of how phenomenal the run is. I think it's like at like 145 from a 30 million opening. Yeah, which is insane.
That's good.
Yeah, if it opened at like 50, it'd be looking around like 230 at least right now. So yeah, I don't see Pixar really doing much. Okay, what's next? This one might surprise you. At 5%, Snow White. Yeah?
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised? Yeah, we know how these Disney remakes go. They're always formidable. You got to be, you got to have your wits about them sometimes, and just know that, you know, if you target women, you can really get some big standouts in there. We're seeing what's happening with Barbie. Little Mermaid did well in the US, not worldwide. So we'll see what Snow White has. Really depends on the market and the quality of the movie for it to stand a true chance. I hate to say this next one. At 9% is Garfield. I don't want to say it, but I saw what Chris Pratt did with Mario. And yeah, it's like 1.3. It's very, very high. It's like one of the highest grossing films of all time. And that movie wasn't good. If it's an animated Garfield movie coming into this kind of marketplace, something that can dominate. Garfield is iconic. It's a historic character.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt is somewhat of a draw, and I think animated movies are mostly critic-proof. They can be average movies, and just people turn up to them. We saw what happened with Minions and Minions 2, and both like 900 million.
Stupid.
I mean, Minions 1 got $1 billion, and 1.2 billion, and then Minions 2 got like 900 in a COVID world. All right, I think we have a tie here for the next one. So Joker, Folie à Deux, 10%. Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 2, 10%. Mission Impossible, Part 1 is not doing well at all. It's looking like it's going to finish around the 600 mark. For a movie that cost $290 million, that's a really bad mark, and they're probably going to lose money. But it did set up Part 2. So, and we know Tom Cruise is a really marketable star. Mission Impossible is really well known, so if it's marketed in a way that you have to see this one, it's the final one, it's a legacy kind of movie, then I think it can do big numbers. But I do also think that perhaps Mission Impossible has a ceiling, and Fallout already hit it at $770 million.
Do you remember roughly how much Fallout made?
$770 million.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't think I can go any higher with that, especially with the way China is, because there were such big moves in China. I think it made like $180 million in China, Fallout did. And Mission Impossible was earning around like 50. So massive drop off. It does hurt its chances. All right, getting to the big boys now. At 12%, Mufasa, The Lion King. Completely unnecessary. No one wanted it, and yet everyone will see it.
Pretty much. I wouldn't even be surprised if it hits $1 billion like The Lion King.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think despite how poor of a movie like choice this is, Barry Jenkins is doing it. He did Moonlight, and that won Best Picture and was very good. And then he did If Beale Street Could Talk, very good. He's a very artistic art house independent director who crafts very intimate movies, and he's doing this movie. with Disney. It really makes no sense. There's a real chance that it could be something really good if he's come to them and pitched this idea. So if that is the case, then we could be for like a $1.5 billion movie. Lion King is just an IP that I think nearly everyone on the planet knows about.
And if you don't know it, then
go watch more movies.
Yeah. Thank you, James. I interrupted before I could say something worse.
We got another tie here. Deadpool 3, an obvious choice. Hugh Jackman returning, Ryan Reynolds. I think the only thing holding him back might be the R rating, but we're seeing what Oppenheimer did. We're seeing what Joker did. R rating is not much of a hindrance at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. If people want to see it, and it depends on marketing and the way people feel about Marvel, it could easily do $1 billion, I feel. But I don't think it will. So that's why it's not like a runaway winner. Next one, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. The second one did really well. Both movies in the trilogy so far are extremely highly recepted by people. People love those movies. But, Across the Spider-Verse has only done I think 650, 700, somewhere around that figure. It's still a long way away from $1 billion.
Yeah.
And that's because basically the international market is right in line with the US market. If you want your movies to be in the 1.2, 3, 4 billion, you need the international numbers to be a lot higher than the US numbers, unless you're Top Gun Maverick, where it's like 715 versus 750, which is just insane. So yeah, I think the hype for that movie speaks for itself. I think we obviously want quality with that movie. If it releases next year in March, expect a very, very high box office gross. If it releases in 26, as some people are predicting, then I would think the box office is a little bit lower, just because releasing 9 months after the one that ended on a stupidly good cliffhanger, the hype will still be around very high. And the winner, Despicable Me 3, as Nayan predicted. I didn't think you were going to get that one, but you got your 20%. It was 20%, by the way.
20%.
Yeah.
Minion power.
Despicable Me gets 20%. Nayan eats 20%, I think, off the pie. So he got the biggest piece. He's been calculating this. He probably snuck a look at my notes to try and get the biggest piece of pie he could. But yeah, the Despicable Me franchise is just gets so much, and yeah, there's no words to describe how poor the quality of the series is, from Minions to Despicable Me 3. Just awful. But Despicable Me 1 is a classic. I love that movie.
Me too.
Yeah. And
I don't mind Despicable Me 2.
That's okay, yeah.
But I think when they started doing Minions number 3 and Minions 2, it's like, oh dear.
Yeah, Despicable Me 3 is awful. I wanted to walk out of that movie. It's got that brother of Gru. Yeah. Just absolute pain. Oh man, that pie is making me hungry. But
That's
nice. I will when you get to your things. But yeah, did you think overall, what do you think about the pie? Is it accurate to what next year is shaping up to be?
I think it's very accurate. I think it's quite I think we all knew that what is it? Oh, where am I looking? Oh, there. Despicable Me 3 would definitely dominate. I think the closest one that could rival it would be Mufasa, which is your second pick as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Lion King.
It's fourth pick.
Was it?
Yeah. Your Spider-Verse and Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that there.
Yeah.
Do. Why is it not in order? Okay, anyway.
Ask Excel.
Fucking Excel. Yeah, I can see Deadpool 3 being that big. I think it's mainly because of Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I think if Hugh Jackman wasn't in it, I think the percentage would be probably halved, if that.
Yeah, if that. You're right.
Beyond the Spider-Verse, if that releases in March as planned, then definitely 100% it is going to go off, because people are still talking about Spider-Verse as in Across the Spider-Verse starting today. Oh, go away, you little fly. Joker, that one hit $1 billion. No one thought it would hit $1 billion. I think it's just now a property now. You've got the Joker name. You've got Lady Gaga coming in. Who'll no doubt attract, the music side of her fan base and the fact that it is a musical as well.
Yeah, and I have popular music with it.
Yeah, it could increase, but yeah, very accurate.
Yeah, thank you. It's better than my last pie, which I think you disagreed with.
Yeah,
because I had Fantastic Four off it, I had Superman off it, and Minecraft was second. I cannot wait to get back to that pie. That one will be good. So yes, expect more pies in the future. Doesn't have to be box office related. But yeah, if you have a pie suggestion, just flick us a message on Twitter.
Both flavor and movie related.
Yeah, go for it with the flavor. Sure, we'll try our best to find it. We're gonna move on now.